Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and greeting all of you. Welcome to all audience to our webinar today. So today we have a webinar about the zoo is the existence as a boon or a bane. So as you already know who I am Mohamad Zharif bin AZMAN as your moderator today. So, but today I will not be alone for whatever reason, because I am accompanied by a pretty great panel. And let me introducing the panel, ladies and gentlemen. What we have, who we have here is Miss Diana binti Muhammad ASRI, Miss YUTHIKA binti RAMELI, Miss Sharifah NORMAHFUZZAH binti Said AZMI, and also Miss NATASYA binti Abu Bakar. So, without wasting our time, we go through to our first panel. Miss Diana, can you hear me? Miss
Yes, I
Diana?
can hear you. Yes, I'm here.
So, based on our topic, based on our webinar topic, it's about the existence of zoo. Is it a boon or a bane? So, what your opinion about the topic?
Okay, thank you to our moderator, Mrs. Zharif, for that question. In my opinion, zoo existence is a boon because for me, it can help people to learn about animals, their species, their behavior, and more. Humans need to study the animal to have more knowledge about them and help them in terms of their extinction, help or learning about the species that may help in the human existence too. For example, maybe we can get a vaccine through the animal blood and also by doing an experiment toward the animal first before going to human itself. So with the existence of the zoo, it also help both sides in terms of the existence of each other. As the author David Hancock and Richard Farinato wrote, according to traditional zoo philosophy, people must see live animal in order to learn about the good species and consequently to care about the species and its habitat. So meaning by this, existence of zoo will help we as a human to gain knowledge and in some way help to preserve the species because some species may on the verge or of extinction. So the scientists may help to preserve the species by doing a research or anything that may help in the continuity of their existence and with that knowledge of the animals by getting it from the zoo will help us human and the animal itself. Besides that, surrounding of the animal also play a major role on their life because with a better place and environment will help them to have a good life and health. With that, zoos must have the facilities that match and suit with the animal life. For example, jungle environment, river, and more else that help them to live like at their own place where their habitat should be. According to Animal Asia Welfare Director, most zoos nowadays have more natural inclusion and encourage the demonstration of natural behavior in the animal, so the animal will feel that it's still in their real habitat. With the author mentioned that nowadays zoo mostly have the facilities that have more natural environment. It will help the animal close to their life or natural and habitat to feel more likely at home. And with these facilities at the zoos, is not a bad of affliction to the existence of the animal itself because zoo nowadays always maintaining their good care toward the animal inside. Once again, I strongly agree that is the existence of zoo is a boon in nowadays, especially to the animal and human also. That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Diana. What a good explanation made by our first panel. So she's agreed that the zoo existence is a boon and also explain about it well by supporting that it will bring benefit not only for us but also to the animal itself. And I also interesting on the fact about Asia Welfare Director that show most zoo nowadays have more natural enclosure, encourage the demonstration of natural behavior, which is uh, the animals will feel like they are in their own habitat, on their own family, own life. So it's a better life for the animals. So thank you, Miss Diana. Next, we go to the our second panel, Miss Yuthika. So, do you agree that the existence of zoo is a boon or a bane? You can give your opinion.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you to our moderator Zharif. Based on our topic discussed, for my opinion, zoo existence is a bane. It's a good and acceptable when some adult, children and family visiting zoos that will be give the subliminal message using animal for our own purpose because zoo will encourage poor treatment of animal more generally. As example here, mostly people do not go to zoos for education reason and they simply go to be entertained and divided by weird and wonderful creatures seen as object of beauty of entertainment. Therefore, as a form of education, the zoo is deficient. The only way to understand an animal properly is to see it its natural environment. The zoo gives a totally artificial and misleading view of the animal by isolating it from its ecosystem. Based on some concept endangered species, as for instance, they do not have a very high success rate as many species are going extinct every week despite the good intention of some zoos. This is partly because a very small captive community of a species is more prone to interbreeding and birth defect. Moreover, it is cruel and inhuman to keep animals in cage purely for human entertainment. Some example, we visit the zoo maybe one day in a year for a few hours and we may gain some trivial sense of joy out of it. However, the animals have to stay in the zoo all year round whereby it is against their natural instinct to roam free. They also have no reprise from their environment. Why should humans think that they can keep animals out of their homes and in glass house just for human entertainment? It is neither fair nor proportionate, right? Humans get food and medical treatment in jails. Does that mean the prisoners are happy or that confinement is not punitive? Freedom for all living things. That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for our second panel, Miss Yuthika. So, what I got from your point is the zoo existence is a bane because it's bringing more harm than benefit to the animals inside the zoo. Besides, we just only put their on their cage or any glass in house. We just need to let them live free, which is that's how the habitat, how their life that should be going. Okay, thank you, Miss Dika. So panel three, uh, Miss Sharifah Normahfuzzah,
Yes,
are you there?
yes, I'm here.
So based on our topic, it's about a zoo is existent. Is it a boon or a bane? You may continue on your review or your opinion.
Okay, thank you to our moderator, Mr. Fikri. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all the panelists and the audience. I'm so glad to be one of the guests here. So, based on today's topic, my point of view, yes, I do agree that zoo existence is a boon because the animals in a zoo are for education purpose. This is based on article that I read, written by Dr. B.R. Sharma indicates a similar point of view. In his article, he said, as zoos are visited by a large number of visitors, zoo could be used as a platform for educating people about the protection of habitat, ecosystem, and forest, and maintaining the life-supporting processes of nature. In other words, zoos are bringing the people and animals together through educating the public and the foster and appreciation of the other species. We know that most people, especially those who live in urban areas, will never see wildlife like lions and giraffe. As we know, there are also documentaries on television that show more details and lots of natural history specimens are on display in museums. In contrast, people will feel pain rather than seeing the wildlife creature in the flesh, hearing it, smelling the environment by themselves, and watching the habit of the wildlife while enjoying their time with the nature. I believe this is actually could bring a better understanding and different perspective to many people, and hopefully they will have a greater appreciation for wildlife conservation effort and how should they contribute or assist the conservatism. This action comes before the actual direct communication take place through signs such as thoughts and exposure of more information about animals and their habitat. Nowadays, many zoos have also worked directly in educating conservation workers in many foreign countries or send their keepers abroad to contribute their knowledge and skill to other zoos. This could also preserve and help to improve conditions and reintroductions regarding zoos all over the world. That's all from me. I will pass to our moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, our third panel, Ms. Sharifah. What a great explanation. Quite strong point, which is a zoo is for education purpose. That she's got point, and what I interesting about her opinion is the fact about most people, especially those who on live in urban area, will never see a wildlife like a lion, a giraffe. It's just like if the future generation should be come to see a real animals because they are existent, and they just only seen just on a picture or just a video from the oldest. So it's a quite sad for our next generation. So with that, thank you, Miss Sharifah. We go through our last but not least, our last panel, Miss Aina Tasha. So same as all of the panels, the question is, what your opinion about the existence of zoo? Is it a boon or a bane? You may continue.
Okay, thank you for our moderator, Mr. Zharif, for the question. Okay, first I would like to quote an article from National Geographic on how to be safe while visiting a zoo or other wildlife facility by Jason Bitter, published on May 14, 2019. The visitor must follow the rules and boundaries when visiting. As mentioned in the article, if you as a visitor respect the boundaries while visiting, there is no unfortunate incident in zoos as well in wildlife facilities. So my opinion here, I agree with the bane of zoos as the visitor sometimes does not follow the rule and may cause the incident at the zoos. In 2012, we heard about a 12-year-old boy being killed by African wild dogs after he fell into exhibits at Pittsburgh Zoo. Additionally, the same incident happens at Cincinnati Zoo in the year 2016, where a young child has fallen into Great Apes area, which led the zookeepers to shoot the gorilla to protect the child from the gorilla named Harambe. This is enough to support my opinion that zoos sometimes can bring danger to the visitors. In another article, Animals Are Not Ours, published on October 28, 2020 by PETA. The animal is not for human entertainment, such as circus to perform force and silly with difficult trick with treat and physical abuse from their owner to entertain the visitor. The animal mostly being kept in the chain or cage and sometimes travel to put on the show to entertain the human. Based on the article, PETA determined the animal are not for business entertainment as animal cruelly being abused by circus business. In my opinion, this is not applicable in circus industry as a performance by animals also happens in zoos to entertain the visitors. We never know what kind of treatment these animals have as we are not working at zoos. Sometimes we heard some animals being abused if these animals didn't cooperate with their coach. We didn't speak the animal language, so we never know what these animals feel while being trapped in cage. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Ain, for our last panels for the webinar zoo is existent is a boon or a bane. So what I got from she's point that animals mostly being kept in a cage or a cage just for the entertainment, such as a circus or a with trade physical abuse for the owner to entertain the visitor. It's quite sad for our future that maybe will mostly animal could be existent if we continues the make the animals as entertainment. So thank you to all the panels for giving their view and the opinion. So it's quite balanced. So about our topic, is it a boon or bane? And so I think this is the end of our webinar. With the end of the webinar just now, it's end of our ceremony today. So hopefully the program can give us a positive impact and to each party involved, which is directly or indirectly. And stay safe, stay home, and I hope you all doing well. With this, we say a million thanks and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you. Bye bye. Thank you, guys.